Hello.
Hey, Z or Z? Can you hear me? Yep, great. Rod?
Hi, Vince. Right, am I? Is everything working? Something's picking.
Hey,
Here we
how
are
are you?
again.
Sorry?
Here
G'day,
we
g'day.
are again. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, I haven't seen Zach before. Tell us where you're up to with this stuff, Zach.
Hi, nice to meet you. Um, I came across you through the Awakening curriculum.
All right, yep,
I watched a lot of I watched all the 10 fetters um, that Vanilla and Todd put together.
yep, yeah, yeah. That's a lot of watching.
Yeah, a lot of watching, a lot of listening and practicing. So yeah, I've gone through that and I finished it this week. In a way, I didn't rush through it, but I wasn't like deliberately doing it
Hmm.
slowly. Um, I was doing it at a pace that made sense to me. And then she mentioned a lot about you and your calls, and then there was a few calls that you had with them in that series, and I found the discussions interesting and saw your website and thought I'd just come and check it out and
Yeah,
see
good
see
one.
how your talks go. And I don't know, I'm always open to um, seeing things I can't see, blind spots, or whatever's in the way
Hmm.
of reality or whatever. So yeah, I
Yep,
guess that's
yep.
where I'm at. Um, Familiar with 10 fetters, um, and I don't know where I would, rank my, not that there is a rank, but
Yeah,
as
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
awakening. I mean, for me, it's anything that I've realized. Some stuff has been like, oh wow, that's interesting, or I see what they're talking about, and other stuff has been very underwhelming, very mundane, very, isn't it obvious? Like, you know,
yep, yep.
so I've had a lot of doubt looping on, but this person experienced this and that's more special and more exciting. But really, all I'm doing is turning their words into an imagination, and then I'm comparing myself against the imagination, and thinking, oh no, I'm not awakened. I haven't seen it yet. You know, so I've been noticing that trap happening a lot.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, right. So that sounds like you've you've had some shifts to be able to see that. That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. So what do you think it'll be like when you wake up?
Right? Yeah, what do I think it'll be like? As soon as my brain hears that question, it just immediately goes to what other people have said.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
but Angelo experiences 2D vision and da da da. And this Adyashanti experienced past lives, and my other teacher experienced this, and it goes off into all this imaginary bullshit, and it goes completely away from what's immediately here.
mm,
That's the trap every time I think about that question. But you asked it, so I think
yeah,
right now what's coming up is less suffering and little to no unnecessary emotional reactions.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. Yep.
ultimately, if I have it, what I want, it's to be free from suffering, not so much the fireworks, but more
Yeah. Gotcha.
experience them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So I was pleased to hear you recognise that listening to other people promotes fantasy about what it could be like, and that you brought it back to your own experience. That that felt good to me. Yeah. So when you say less suffering, can you have a bit of a rave about what is your suffering when you experience suffering? What's going on? It doesn't
The
have to be coherent. Don't worry about that. Just be, let it come out. Yeah.
it's the discomfort, the the physical sensations that could be, the tightening in the chest and the gut, solar plexus, um, and then it's
Gotcha.
that
Yeah.
escaping the automatic. This
Yep.
is bad. Don't want to feel this um, emotion. And even the emotional side of it is
Yeah. 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 I get.
imaginary as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, um,
Yeah.
it's the autumn like the automaticness of that
Yep.
is what I want to be free from. But I mean, you can't.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
you get
Don't
what I'm
worry.
trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's enough. Yeah, for the moment. So how often does that happen to you? Is that happening multiple times in a day, or multiple
Oh, it
times a
could
week?
do.
Once a month? How often?
Oh, well, I mean, the scale or the magnitude, like, I mean, I would say daily, but the magnitude can vary. So it could be that my dog just randomly barks like a maniac and scares the shit out of me, and then I'm like, I get a bit angry because I'm like, you little
Yeah. Yeah.
bastard. Like,
Yeah.
but 30 seconds later, it's gone. Or it could be, um, you know, uh,
Yep. Yeah. All right.
client,
That's
or
good.
it's
So
just the
so
little bits. Yeah.
is that different to what it used to be? That you're saying in 30 seconds it's gone. Did it used to go for a lot longer than that?
Yeah, I think so. Um,
Mm.
yeah, without analyzing the entire history, I'd say the duration of the reaction is shrinking,
Got shorter. Yeah. Okay. Good.
and for
Good
bigger
stuff. Yeah.
ones, and yeah,
Yeah.
and for bigger ones too, because I work for myself, so when things don't go to plan, or if it's a bad month, I used to catastrophe
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
that
Yeah.
word a lot and project doomsday stuff into the future, and it's all going to vanish.
Right. Yeah.
And what I've noticed is more recently, if something bad happens, um, I will still feel that response and that fear, but I can see the body's feeling fear, and then kind of like what Pernilla says, like, can I be in a body that experiences fear? I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah.
run from it. So
Yeah. So there's a more objective view of what's going on than there used to be.
yeah, it's accurate.
Yeah. I would call this progress, although that's a shitty concept. What about you? Do you think that things have changed as a result of seeing that things are now different to what they used to be?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been very subtle, but I'd say
Yeah,
if I try to think back to how I used to react, because like it happens so slowly for me that it's hard. It's like watching grass grow. You
yeah,
don't,
exactly that.
it's
And
not
would I
black and
have to
white.
say to you, that's the normal in my experience for most people. Very few people have that big epiphany and a sudden change. And even if they do, doubt turns up and away they go again anyway. So yeah,
Mm.
so I like that. I like that that's happening for you. Yeah, and you've got a pretty good thing. What it seems to me, and I mean I'm jumping in because I don't know you very well yet, but I just this is the way I operate, stuff comes out of my mouth and I don't tend to filter it. So I get the impression that things are happening, and that's great. And another thing I've realized is that the body, the nervous system, lags. It takes time to catch up. And that's happening for you now by the sound of it. So that's pretty good. The purpose of these groups is a couple of things. Oh, there's lots of things actually, but one of them is just to be hanging around with people that you can talk about this stuff with. That's a pretty big one. And the other thing is to look in detail, to work out how to look in detail at what's going on. And when we do, we discover things. So part of that nervous system catching up is changing habits. We've developed certain responses to certain triggers, and we've been doing it for a lifetime. And so they're pretty habitual and they're pretty ingrained, and it takes a while to change them. But recognizing what they rest on can help us, can facilitate that, make it happen faster. Yeah. Do you have an expectation that it's ever going to get to the point where you can walk on water, so to speak?
I think the majority of that is faded.
Yeah,
I think
great.
the excitement of mystical stuff kind of drew me in initially, but over the past year of hardcore seeking, it's just becoming more apparent that all that is just another form of dream and imagination, and really,
good stuff. Yep.
I don't know. It's a weird feeling at the moment because like I'm still seeking, but it's not. It's like I know there's nothing to get, but it's like I just want to hear something in a way that triggers me, or I want to expose
absolutely.
like, oh yeah, my dad said this once, and that made me feel like shit. Can I, it's like I'm digging for the triggers that that have been repressed or suppressed for decades.
Yeah.
And then, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Well, about that stuff, like some people call it shadow work, and that's probably a pretty good description of stuff that's hiding in the shadows, but it's not stuff. So this is something that's changed for me in the last couple of years, and that is an appreciation that those things are beliefs that lie dormant until they get triggered. And when they get triggered, circumstances trigger them, and we react. And then there's something pretty solid. We've got an experience that's happening. But until that happens, there's nothing there, just a belief lying dormant. Right? And so consequently, we don't have to know what it is. You don't have to remember what it was your dad said to you. You just have to recognize that it was something from before that's no longer relevant. And that's enough to allow it to dissipate. So that's a big relief. That's a good one. People go to therapy and 20 years later, they're still looking and they're still finding shit. And they never get to the end of it because they keep looking. And every time they look, they find something. And the whole thing is you just don't need to do that, So what we're talking about is how you respond to triggers. And those triggers will change as you recognize that they're based on beliefs that were they were legitimate beliefs that you had as a kid, most likely. But now that you can see a bigger picture, they don't hold water anymore. And and until we trigger them and dig them up, you don't get a chance to dissolve them. But that'll happen. So you'll keep getting triggered for the rest of your life probably, although it'll get further and further apart, and you'll see it quicker, and you won't react in the same way you used to. You won't get lost in it like you used to. And one day maybe it'll be a long time since the last time you were triggered. But that's it. And will it ever end? I don't know. No idea. It hasn't ended for me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're married.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, or your parents, your siblings, your wife, your dog, they're the ones that'll trigger you for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And we got a baby recently as well, and that's been a
Oh, yeah, that's a big one there. That's a
whole new
huge one.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah,
well,
well,
that brings up something else too. When you get sick or if you get tired, you're more easily triggered. Stuff comes to the
oh yeah,
surface a lot
yeah,
easier. Yeah.
yeah,
And a
yeah,
baby will keep you tired probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first week he was born, we were in the NICU ward for about 8 days, and it was really intense because he was premature and I was really sleep deprived. Like everything was triggering me. The
Yeah.
smallest thing, like someone like left the door open or like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
didn't do something on the exact minute. I was angry. And I was like, why am I getting so angry? It's because I'm tired.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. Um, no, I agree with everything you're saying. It makes sense. And I think that as you're talking about being triggered for um like maybe it'll never end. The thought that came up for me was if I think it will end, that's a trap. And if I think that, Adyashanti or Angela DeLulo, all these people never ever get triggered at all, and I'm always going to be comparing myself to some fantasy idea, assuming they never get triggered, thinking that I'm never going to be done until I'm like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how do I know that I get triggered? I have no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
How can I ever know?
Yeah. That's the thing with the YouTube videos and the books and everything. People always talk about their peak experience, their shift, their initial shift, etc. And you don't get to talk about the shit that still happens. You know. So anyway, that's good stuff. Yeah. One of the really big things, as I see it, is to recognize that firstly, your body doesn't lie. Your mind does. It lies all the time, right? It's got good intentions. It wants to be your friend. It wants to lead you, but it's not reliable. Your body will tell you what it sees or what it's responding to really honestly, even if it's responding to a total fantasy. But it'll respond according to the input that it gets from your senses and from your mind. And so that's a big one. So the idea that we give it our body a lot more recognition, it's a better guide than what you think. What you think. Mm. So in the beginning, and you're not at the beginning, but when I say in the beginning, what we've got to do is recognize that we've built a cage for ourselves with our minds. And then once we can unlock the door of that cage, and we can never dissolve it completely because we need it, It's where we sleep, metaphorically speaking. But once we've unlocked that door, yeah, you're kind of free to wander in and out of it a little bit. You're not stuck in the cage. Then we can take notice of the mind. At that point, it becomes useful. And so it'll still bullshit us for sure. It'll still come up with fantasies and things, but we recognize what it's doing and we don't get sucked in like we used to. Yeah. But the big one of the ones that I find really difficult but most useful is to recognize the feeling that says me, mine, I, the feeling in the body that we could label identification. If we can get a handle on that one, we can see that triggers are in action before we respond to it. And as soon as we do, you don't have to do anything. As soon as you see, it changes. Seeing is really incredibly powerful when it comes to dismantling automatic behaviors. automatic responses, reactions. So the same shit that used to cause you to trigger you into what you call suffering, that might still happen, but you'll have a different relationship to it, a different attitude towards it. And the consequence is that, you know, it still could be uncomfortable, but you wouldn't call it suffering like you used to. You know, it's you just go, well, this is interesting, and why did this turn up? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because the sensation can still be there and it can be painful, but it's the suffering element is only the mind, right? So
Mm.
if it, like you said, a dormant belief gets triggered and then there's pain, it doesn't have to go any further than that. But if there's this
Yeah.
mental elaboration, now the suffering gets amplified. But if there's just, oh, this doesn't feel good,
Yeah.
okay, I can be with that.
It spirals off. Where the suffering, and this is a bit simplistic, but the suffering comes from resistance to what turns up. As soon as we resist it, we don't want it, we're off into fantasy land, we're off into the non-existent future, we're off into all sorts of things that create more no's. No, I don't want this. It should be different. You know, even a weird one. I did a song and a story today about resisting the resistance. You know, that's so we can go. No, I don't want that. Oh, hang on. I don't want to not want it either. And we can go down that track really easily. And if we get lost down that track, it's a really shitty place to be. It hurts. You know, that's what you call suffering. But if you see it happening, by the time you get to the second iteration, no, I don't want to not want it. It becomes a joke, and you laugh, and the whole thing dissolves. You're no longer in that resistance. So yeah. So that kind of, if we reverse that, look at it from the other side, not that we can do it. Don't get sucked into the idea that we have control, but if accepting, if surrendering to whatever turns up happens, there's no resistance. And all of a sudden, I mean, as you say, it can still hurt, it can still be painful, but we're not going to spiral off into something that ends up being called suffering. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think I should, maybe if I had to re-answer your question, I would word it differently now. Because a bit of clarity in just listening to what you were saying, it's like suffering is the mental aspect, but what I'm finding these days is I can just be with the feeling and the pain or the contraction or whatever it is, and notice there is chatter, but it's like, yeah, not relevant. Just be with this. If I was to reword it, it would maybe not necessarily be free from suffering because I know that's just dream, that's just mind. But it's free from the like to be in a state where I don't even get those triggers anymore. There isn't any pain. But I think that's a delusional kind of goal.
Well, it's delusional if you think it can happen instantly and be 100%. Yeah, but the reality is that will become less and less and less of an issue over time as the nervous system catches up. Yeah, you will get triggered less, or a trigger will happen, but it won't actually trigger you because you'll see that it was about to trigger you, and the seeing of it is all it takes to change your perspective to it, your attitude towards it. So the suffering very definitely is what happens when we spiral off into something that adds to and adds to and adds to and ends up, you know. So there is although there's a big mental aspect to that first spiral, right? it's an actual experience. It's pretty horrible when it happens. You know, you'll actually feel quite. You might not call it pain, but it hurts. You know, it's not pleasant. Um, so just seeing it, that's what we want to do. And the more relaxed we are about it, the more we accept that here it is again. And isn't that interesting? We then start to we invite what's underneath it to show itself. Might be a way to put it. And you will have the experience where you'll see that you're about to get triggered, and that simple seeing is enough for it to not occur. You may not have had that yet, but you will. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's like that, the subtle aversion or diversion kind of feeling there. Like it's like an anticipatory feeling before the thought flares
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So good stuff. So
One thing I feel compelled to share is earlier, Zach, when you were talking about having recently had a baby, um, I felt this sense of like gratitude that your family will have um, this different way that you are experiencing life and showing up for them. I've often thought about I've got two daughters, they're 18 and 19. And there's been over the course of the last couple of years, these feelings of a little bit of like, I don't know, sadness or grief. Um, Stories that, gosh, I felt if what if I had been how I am now 20 years ago? Like, could I have been a better parent? Could I have been more patient? Could I have shown up better for them? Could I have been less triggered? And kind of thinking about all of the conditioning that I had, that I conditioned them or influenced them to have that conditioning. Um, so yeah, I think I understand that it's sort of like projecting or beliefs, but still a sense of like gratefulness that um, that you're walking this path uh, so early in your son's life.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Can I say add something to this subject? With regard to getting triggered, I think factors 4 and 5 have a lot to do with that. I know they were for me. But you're looking for you do 4 and 5, you're kind of looking for a mechanism, a supposed mechanism within you which responds to, you know, some triggering circumstance. So that could, I think probably quite a lot of that can be handled in 4 and 5. The other thing that might be of interest to you is there's a thing called IFS, internal family systems, which talks about the parts. You're familiar with that by the sound of it.
Yeah. Dick Schwartz. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Have you identified any of your parts?
Not in like the mapping sense that he goes to that detail, but if say if I'm meditating and there's a clear emotional energy in the body, and I'm calm, I will apply a bit of that IFS kind of discussion and do the kind of reparenting kind of vibe with it. But I haven't necessarily mapped out like he's a protector and he's this and he's that. I haven't fully taken on his method. I just kind of took the basics and
my door. Just about to be back in that.
Not sure how long Rod's going to be away. There's one other thing that came up for me, Vince, when you were talking about triggers and when you see them early enough, the experience of them is so different. It reminds me of recently, one of the things that is the most triggering for me that I've realized is when my wife comes up behind me and surprises me with like a tickle in the side of my ribs. It's so bad that I will often respond. I'll be like, I am going to reflexively like elbow you in the face. Like that is so dangerous for you to keep doing this. The other day, I don't remember the situation, but there was some sort of challenge that we were doing with each other, where I ended up letting her tickle me really, I guess, intensely on both sides of my rib cage. She was expecting that I wouldn't be able to last for more than a couple seconds. And because I saw it coming, I could almost like put myself in this space where it's like, it's just bodily sensations. I don't have to respond to it in the same way. And it was so bizarre because after 30 seconds, she's like, what the hell? what happened? I can't startle you like I could before. And I just found that such an interesting sort of analogy to a lot of this, where like if you can see the process early enough, it totally changes the experience.
Yeah. The surprise element is a big one there too. We tend to respond defensively when we get surprised, especially from behind. Yeah. And it's probably an autonomic response, so it doesn't even engage the prefrontal cortex. You know, it's just automatic. Jump away. What is it? Kind of thing. Yeah, and that response too. You know, the aggressive response can certainly be a defensive response. Yeah.
It's good to hear of people who are on tickling terms, though. Right, Zach. I got you're an anomaly for me, because you have an English accent, but you're sitting there in your vest or t-shirt. So you probably aren't in England, because it's too cold to do that in England. Can you elucidate?
Yeah, I'm in Australia.
Oh, right. Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah, I'm in Queensland, so I'm borderline sweating right now.
Okay, because you don't really sound Australian.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. You don't sound like
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what part of Australia you're in, Vince.
I'm down in Newcastle in New South Wales.
Oh yeah,
Right,
okay.
okay.
My dad lives there. I grew up on the Central Coast, so
Okay, yeah.
very familiar. I'm on the Sunshine Coast, so
Right.
I lived in Sydney, so yeah, maybe I have more of a city kind of vibe to my accent. I don't know.
Okay, oh, well, that's well done on having a bit of an English accent.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to talk a bit more about IFS?
Do you mean like my experience or just in general? Like,
Well,
as
no,
a topic?
I was going to basically share some of my experience with it.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this was I've recently been doing a sort of investigation into it because I run a group and I try and give them interesting things to keep them occupied, and IFS is one that's sort of coming up. So I've been studying it a bit, and I've been trying to list my parts. Okay. And I couldn't find a lot of parts, but definitely I did find some. And one of the excuse me, one of the things that did show up there was when I was sort of studying. Well, I think it's Jay Early who wrote a book on self-therapy. I think I was reading his book. And he's saying, well, yes, to sort of enumerate your parts, a good way of doing it is, firstly, you find whatever ones that you can, and you can kind of base them on particular roles. You know, if you say, well, yeah, I think, you know, me, the one who responds, that kind of idea, and write them all down. And he suggests, well, give it to someone who knows you well, this list, and say, have I missed anything on here? Because the other person will probably be more, how should we say, more observant to your peculiarities than you are yourself.
Mm.
If that might, I don't know whether that might not be safe to do that, but
Yeah, I can see that'd be effective. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because we're kind of blind to some of our behaviors, but to others it's so obvious. So yeah, okay.
And also the thing about parts, you can use it as a kind of instead of saying to someone you're angry, you say you've got an angry part, which isn't so damning, as it were.
Mm.
Okay, lesson over from me. Take it, Vince.
Thanks,
Or
Rob.
someone.
Yeah. So just a couple of things, Zach. Yeah, totally informal, these meetings. So people here from all stages. I'll have to put that in quotes because it's a shitty word, but you know, yeah. But the more different perspectives we have, the more likely we are to discover things. So that's good. Yeah. You don't need to put your hand up and ask permission to speak, even though Rod did. You notice that I didn't answer him when he said, "Can I speak?" So if you've got something to say, just jump in and say it. No problems.
That was my polite part.
Yeah. I generally won't, if somebody's got their camera off, in most cases, I won't ask them to be active. So it's one way. Some people just want to listen, be here and listen. That's fine as well. If you give me your email address, if you're interested, give me your email address and I'll join you up to my Substack, and then you'll get this meeting is recorded and will go on to YouTube, and 2 every week do that, and 2 are not recorded. Well, they are recorded, but those recordings are only available to participants if they request it, but they're not generally made public. And some people feel happier about that than they do about going onto YouTube. But lots of people look at the videos on YouTube and presumably they're getting something out of it. So they can identify with something that somebody says. So it's good value that way. Yeah. And there's a whole lot of other resources too, you know. So I do a story and an investigation on something that's turned up, probably one of the things that's come up in the meeting each day. And then the following day, I'll do a song about it. So that's just another sneaky way to try and get information in through the filters that might make it a bit, you know, whatever. So yeah, if you're inclined, give me your email address and I'll join you up, and you can unsubscribe if it's too much, if you don't want to do it or whatever. But then there's a whole lot of resources there available. So all the stories I've done, I've put into books. So there's 5 books out there at the moment, PDFs that have got 50 stories each in them. And they're good value. They're only short stories, only a page long kind of thing, most of them. And it's another way to kind of let some of this information pass the intellectual filters that whatever. Anyway, so there's that. And anything, you know, you want to swear, you can swear. You don't have to. I'm not concerned about anything. You know, if you want to tell me to fuck off, I'm quite happy for you to do that as well. I'm not going to take it personally, so that's fine. Yeah.
What's the
Nice and
best way
relaxed.
to give you my email?
Yeah, just put it into the chat if you like. Yeah.
Okay.
You see the chat down the bottom there? Yeah.
Yep. That won't be public, right?
No, it's only for me. Yeah.
I'll tag you.
It might, I don't know if your Zoom app shows this, but I was going to say that it might be public unless you select a DM to Vince. So it would show up for me, but
yeah. The chat doesn't end up on YouTube, so it'll only be available to others here if you send it to everybody here, or you can
Okay,
choose just me, and then nobody else will get it.
I figured it out.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
No worries. So I'm interested why I'm only seeing a side profile of you, Jenny. What's over there that's interesting?
Oh, I just looking out the window as I listen. That's all. Listening to the birds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Birds are great, aren't they?
Yeah, cardinal every morning now. It's just dying for spring, I tell you. Other than that, nothing else is interesting.
Good. Yeah. My wife was complaining about the noise that the magpies make of a morning here, and I find it lovely. I just love the sound of it, and she was annoyed by it. I thought that was a bit interesting.
It is
Yeah.
interesting. I will mention that after the last meeting I was on, when I had that, I don't know, I'm going to say episode. This week, for some, there was just a more lightness to me, definitely after that big movement.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And I know I asked you for the, hi Dan, the video for that to watch it again, but and to be honest with you, I haven't been able to. I didn't
Mhm.
want to watch myself go through that.
Yeah,
So
all right. Well,
it,
you keep it. You might, maybe one day you will. Yeah.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
doesn't matter if you don't, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
But I
But
did notice a little lightness to me this week. It was really
yeah,
nice to feel.
great, great. I mean, I love to hear that kind of thing. It makes me feel really good that something's happened for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
do you get that you don't need to know what, you don't need to know why, just
That's
that
even better.
something has happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's way better. Like these gentlemen were talking about parts work and my intellectual side's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Because you get to read, you get to figure things out. And I certainly did try to go down that and because I just found it interesting, but it was very hard to identify the parts, the manager, the it was just wow,
Yeah.
this is way too much head work.
It
Yeah.
suits some people more, you know,
Mhm.
and Rod's obviously got a very analytical mind and he likes to gather information. So I think
Yeah,
that
me
that's, yeah, yeah,
to use it was is hard. I find notes that's hard, but it's definitely
yeah.
interesting.
So I find it's interesting that you say that your experience is lighter.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I mean my mind wants to look at details, and the details of being lighter is interesting, isn't it? I mean, does that mean it was heavy before? Now it's not so heavy. Lighter, does it mean it's more open, clearer, fresher? What, you know, lighter is an interesting word, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I just I felt things were easier to accept, to
Yeah,
let to
right.
just to
That's a
let
big
things.
one. Yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah.
weren't fighting or resisting.
No, yeah, it was less of that, much less of that. Yeah,
Yeah, good one, good one. Yeah, that's big, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
And I get,
can you have you thought that maybe that this has got some momentum and it will keep going? You'll get better and better at this.
yeah, absolutely.
Excellent, excellent.
I get to be around this the same relationship this weekend.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And just remember when people, how can I put it? There's no good word, but when people get caught again, it doesn't mean a failure, right? Very frequently, what it is that we're so good that we can allow something else to turn up that we weren't allowing before. So it's always a move forward. You can't go backwards. There's no possible way you can go backwards.
that's nice to know. Oh,
Mm.
ah,
Yeah. It might seem like it just because something's turned up and you get lost in it,
hmm.
but that's an opportunity again. That's just and it's we're getting to the point where we recognise opportunity in the shitty stuff that turns up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think it was a little shitty of me that I didn't wish him a happy birthday. His birthday was like yesterday or the day before, and I just didn't want to.
Mm,
And I don't
that's
I
yeah,
kind of feel bad about it, but I did just in a nasty way. I want him to know how disappointed I am with his behavior.
yeah.
I, I felt like hurting him like he hurt me, and that was oh, now that I see that, that's not. Oh wow.
Yeah, it
Mm,
sounds a bit off when you say it like that, but I don't. I what I see is you're being more honest,
yeah.
more authentic, less controlled by what should happen. So, yeah, you know, and I mean, that you wanted revenge is a bit shitty, but that's honest. It's good. And it's another opportunity. Look,
Yeah.
that guilt that you experience, that's socially conditioned.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Sure is.
Movement. I love movement.
Yeah, it was really nice. And then, I mean, the rest of the day after that, it was Sunday here at 4 o'clock or so after we've concluded that meeting. And I just felt this need just to, it was weird. It was like, I just wanted to be nice to me and comfort me, like actually, like the little kid in me for some reason, it was that kind of thing going
Mm-hmm.
on. And I felt kind of stupid about it, but it's like, well, this is what's happening, and I'll just embrace
Right.
it because it
Yeah.
felt like this little child just needed to be held.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what did you do with this the stupid feeling?
Oh, well, oh well, you guys don't know me. It's okay. I'll just share it. Um, I have this thing I laminated with 3 pictures of me when I was a kid. Something to remember that it's like I'm not that person. I'm always changing, but there's the real me there. And so I actually I brought it with me and I put it under my pillow like I was hugging her, just to keep her close.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt foolish, but I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything foolish about that, really. I think this being a human is an interesting thing. It's just so interesting. And there's something that was present when you were that little kid that is exactly present now, exactly untouched as it was. Those little
Yeah.
kids are still inside, they're still inside of us. They just are. Every year one of my kids gets older and I look at them and I tell them, like, the 13-year-old did not replace the 12-year-old. That is not what happened.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I guess if you do that year by year, it makes sense, but doing a jump from 3 to 54 is kind of big. But I still see what you're
You're just
saying. It's
you're just realizing something. That's all.
say that again.
It's I mean, there's no difference if you do it year over year over year. I mean, that's another story you're telling yourself that you missed something. It's the kid is still inside of you. It's still there. There's no question about it. There's no question about it.
Yeah, she is because she's yeah. You could feel that sadness. It was an early sadness. I knew that. I kind of felt that.
Mm.
Yeah.
But all aspects, let's imagine, so all aspects of the 3-year-old are still there. The playfulness, that's a big one. That's a really big one because that's where discovery happens. We learn from playing at 3 years old. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But also the 3-year-old's view of themselves is already started to be conditioned by what people tell us,
Oh,
how
yes.
they tell us how we should be. So that the negative stuff is also there. So
Yeah.
we've got all aspects that are still in us.
Yeah.
The decades of conditioning of, societal rules about how, like, what's acceptable for a 3-year-old to do and behave. And if you're 40, 50, the things like the playfulness, silliness, um, there's a lot more, at least for me, there's just more expectations of different rules that I'm supposed to follow and things that I'm supposed to do. Or
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah.
like, instead of kind of like what Dan was saying, where the 12-year-old is still there, even though you're 13. If anything, that gets, um, I think it's reinforced by realizing that what the 13-year-old gained was just more expectations about how they're supposed to behave.
More
You're older now.
program.
You're supposed to act this way. You're supposed to be polite's not the word that I was thinking of, but just responsible, or um, you're supposed to wish somebody a happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just thinking about how young we condition kids to send thank you notes or behave in a certain way because of.
Yeah.
Well, what about adults telling you to grow up? What does that actually mean? What do they want? They want you to stop being playful, don't they? They want you
Yeah.
to stop being spontaneous and loud.
That's saying pull up your big girl panties and get over it. Like move
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah,
Which I do like the saying.
yeah.
Just
I actually did a story today. I did a few. I did actually did 4 stories today, but one of them was on playfulness. And what I came to the conclusion in that was that it's about the attitude. It's not about what you're doing. You don't have to be doing cowboys and Indians or Scrabble or anything like that. It's your attitude that is
Mhm.
playful. That lightheartedness that happens, and spontaneity and discovery also happens in that space. So yeah, it's very healthy to be playful. Yeah.
Interesting. I have my granddaughter today for a while because my grandson's birthday is tomorrow, so I'm watching her. So I have a good time today to be playful. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm glad I'm talking about this, but she's quite an interesting little girl. I'll tell you that on this one. I'm very like our home is our home, and I'm a certain way. I live alone, so I keep my house a certain way, right? And she's just going to be into everything. I have to put chairs in front of things and move things around so she doesn't grab everything. So the tension I get when this is going on is it takes over the playfulness a lot, mostly because I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah,
concerned about the way things are and her not hurting herself and all the worry that it's hard for me to be playful because when she's gone, my house is going to be a fucking disaster because I'll be grabbing things and trying to chase her around and,
yeah,
you know, and I was like, whoa, that was so hard. So
yeah,
I don't know, maybe there'll be a different approach today about it.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm
I
getting
bet
anxious.
there will be.
Oh, if I could only film it for you. But I'll still
But
baby proof.
but you're noticing it. That's what this is all about, right? Is like noticing these behaviors, these unconscious things. They happen,
Yeah,
you notice them after the fact, but then when they come up again, you kind of smell it coming, and then you see it and you don't resist it so much. It's
I'm
all
certainly
amazing.
gonna put that into
Yeah.
play today because I'd
Mhm.
rather be that playful, hey, don't worry about things, Nana, and then have all this anxiety about the way things are in my home and her touching shoes and her hands getting dirty and
Yeah. So if that stodgy old adult in you starts to rearrange things back to the way you like them,
yeah.
and as you're doing it, you're huffing and puffing, and all of the effort involved in fixing things up. If you see that, you're just going to crack up. You're just going to find that the funniest thing, and you can see. Then you can wonder. I wonder what she got out of moving this chair there. What did she discover? Did she discover the sound as she dragged it across the floor? Did she discover how heavy it was? Did she
Oh
use it to
wow.
climb up on? You know, there's lots for you to discover in that. And also, of course, you're going to get in touch with her playfulness, which will be your playfulness as you're doing it.
Mm.
And stodgy old Jenny, who likes things the way she likes things, she can just piss off for a while.
She can. Yeah, that part for
Mm.
sure. There's a part. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, she could leave. That's cool.
Your
There's a part of me.
granddaughter's in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a part of me that's feeling a sense of envy that you have this, what I'm interpreting to be an amazing opportunity to be uh, activated, to be triggered, and to like, oh, what just came up in me when she did something? What
Yeah.
did that feel like in my body? Like, what sort of like belief or rule do I have
Mm.
in my mind that tells me that, you know, what she did is not acceptable? Where did that come from? Why have I held that so strongly for my whole life? Like
It's going to be all the
you,
whole time.
Mhm.
But I'm so curious, Jeremy, to see how when it starts, how quick it starts for me, right? I am now. I'm really interested. I'm already trying to figure out what get her to eat. What does she like? What's not going to be so messy? And
Yeah, yeah. And is she
Mhm.
gone now, or is she going to be around again?
She'll be coming this afternoon.
Right.
Mm.
So I remember Leonard at a recent meeting telling me about him. He was playing with a little girl, had the opportunity to play, and he got lost in the play with her.
Mm.
And he discovered some amazing things as a result of getting in there. And I think he was having a pillow fight with her, and he just got really spontaneous and had a lot of fun. You know, he found the 3-year-old in himself
Mhm.
Yeah,
by doing that. Yeah, it was
yeah.
great. Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
does
We get
she
covered. We get covered over with this conditioning. This
Oh,
crap.
it ruins your
Who-
your time. It ruins
Look
your
what
moment.
look what adults have done to this planet, to this to these other species. Look what we've done to this, and we trust that conditioning should be trusted, and it is good. I mean, it's like it's ridiculous. It gets covered over. This, you know, G, I quote. I say a lot of quotes. Quotes stick in my head, and Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is on earth, but most men cannot see it. To enter the kingdom of heaven, become again like a child.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting. It's interesting.
Jenny, does your granddaughter, um, do you think that she has expectations for how you're going to behave?
No.
Maybe I'll ask that a different way. If you were to, if you were to like fully embrace the playfulness, would she notice, or was she expecting you to be like, oh, you can't do this, or, you know,
Oh,
don't
oh,
move that, or we can't do this activity, or no, that's not allowed here?
I don't know. I
If you
guess,
were to
I don't
just
know.
let go, which
I don't know. She'll probably stop and look at me first. You know how children do that, knowing that you're going to say, so I guess she does know. I just answered your question. She will. She'll look at me, right? And I'm like, and sometimes I just let her and I just keep moving her hand away, right? But that's another interesting angle to see it, what she'll do if I don't. Oh, I wish I could videotape this for you guys. It would be hilarious.
Mm.
But I intend on coming tomorrow to the meeting, so it's my intention. I could report back.
Good.
Lots to play
Yeah.
with today. So you said, Jeremy, are you suggesting I shouldn't baby proof, put the chair in front of like all my delicate things and so she can't grab them? Like, I don't know if I want to put myself through that much anguish, really.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the thought occurred to me of going the complete opposite
Oh.
end of the spectrum. Just
Oh, that gives me I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do that.
It's a
There's no right
tricky
or
one,
wrong.
and it's
Just
a one that's present for us in all of our relationships, and that is boundaries. Where do we set boundaries? How hard are our boundaries? How flexible are they? And so on. But we all have them, and we will use them. And so you've got to be a bit sensible, you know. So if you've got delicate stuff, a 3-year-old can be pretty boisterous. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, protect your delicate stuff, but recognize what you're doing when you do it. You know, you just got to be smart. You want a good experience with her. You don't want, you know, but if it turns out that she triggers you into something that's not pleasant, that's an opportunity too.
Okay, the opportunity is to recognize it and not fight it, right?
Yeah, yep. Just recognize what's happening. Yeah. So immediately ask, what am I feeling? What's going on in the body?
Okay. Okay. And the
I
story
wouldn't
attached,
leave. Sorry.
and then the
So
story.
yeah, the stories will turn up, yes,
Okay.
and you'll become aware of them when you're not immediately lost in them. Sure.
Oh. Okay.
Don't make a script for how this is gonna go though. I mean, just be there, you know. And I
How
wouldn't leave
long?
the sharp knives out either.
Yeah.
Anything that you're gonna get upset that gets broken, either by her or you, you put away.
Yeah. 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 Well, at least she's young enough. I could like say it out loud as to what's happening. She won't know what I'm really saying, right?
Mm.
That way I can really experience it without worrying about anybody hearing me.
Is she yet going to preschool?
She's in daycare. She's with other kids. Yeah.
Right.
She's,
Yes. So she's already getting conditioned by those other kids' parents because
oh,
those other kids are bringing their conditioning and sharing it with her. So,
oh
you know,
yeah.
yeah. So you will see her change pretty dramatically over the next 12 months or 18 months, you know,
Oh gosh.
especially when she starts going to bigger school, right? That they change pretty fast, you know, where up until 3 years old, you can see the genius in them. Oh, they're all so intelligent and so smart and so creative and so on and so on. You know, by the time they're 5 or 6, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watch. Yeah.
Is she
She learns
coming
a
to
lot.
live with you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Did you hear the horror in her voice then?
Well,
Oh no!
been said over the next 12 to 18 months. Where they've moved closer, or you're just
I'm
seeing
just
her more often?
I'm watching her for the afternoon. Well, it's my
Gotcha.
brother's birthday party. Yeah, because my daughter needs just to be with Blake, and you know she's a handful.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, I would do anything for them. If they had to live with me, I would make it work. It would work out,
Mm.
no problem. But the thought of that is like, oof, I don't have a big place. It's gonna be fun.
And what she might expose for you is your relationship to some of your things. That
Oh yeah.
that, that ownership thing, that how much you identify with something, all of that will be exposed.
Oh, I know that. It's usually if she touches anything around my mom, that reminds me of my mom. It's like, nah,
Mm,
you can leave. You leave that. And I move them too. So I mean,
mm.
yeah. Oh wow, it's so interesting.
It's amazing how life offers hundreds of opportunities every day for us to get a bit cleaner, a bit lighter, as you say, a bit freer from that conditioning, because it just shows us where we're hooked, where we're caught, the stodgy bits. Life does that beautifully without
Yes.
even trying. It just does it. Yeah. I had an interesting experience this morning. Like now it's 11:13 p.m. now, but this morning my wife said to me, "You're cranky today." I said, "No, I'm not. I don't feel cranky, but I recognise that I was quick to irritability." She said, "Are you depressed?" I said, "No." I recognised what she was talking about. I said, I can feel what you're saying, but I can't tell you what it is I feel. I don't feel depressed. I don't feel angry, but I'm certainly not happy." I didn't say that to her, but that's it was like that. It, I couldn't say. I couldn't define what it was that I was feeling, what was going on for me. It was just a bit down, is all I could say, for no obvious reason at all. And you know what? I have no idea when it finished. It did. It finished. It went away, but I don't know when. It kind of faded out so gradually that I didn't notice that it was gone. And only now I'm talking about it, I only vaguely remember that I felt it, what it was, but I didn't know what it was. And now I've had that experience on a couple of occasions, and it's really interesting in that it's not definable. It just an experience. It just happened. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't bad. It was just whatever.
I felt that several times. That I'll be in a sour mood, I guess,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really knowing why, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, I'm happy again. How'd that happen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was a nice shift. Yeah.
Maybe it was your Mr. Grumpy part, Vince.
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah. Well, I wasn't. It was only. I mean, it came to light when she said, "Are you ready to go and take the dog for a walk?" And I went, "No, I don't want to go now." I was like a little kid. No, I don't want to go now. Yeah, but I did. I went. We went and we walked, and so it was probably somewhere on that walk that it changed. Um, but it was like, yeah, I didn't have the energy. I didn't really want to exert. I didn't want to, I don't know. Yeah. But I guess all I'm saying is that, we do have these experiences where we can't really define it. There is no obvious reason why it's there. It's just a passing experience that happens. It seems to me perfectly reasonable that that happens. It actually seems
Isn't
quite unreasonable that I would always be happy.
Mm.
So yeah, Mr. Grumpy certainly shows up from time to time.
is another part of that, Vince, your message that you don't have to go searching for an explanation. Our minds are quick
Absolutely,
and
yes.
hungry to try to explain why something happened, but you don't need to go digging.
Yeah, yeah. That was definitely, and my wife wanted me to be able to explain it, and I didn't try. I just said to her, I don't know why I feel like this. Yeah,
It's not a problem if something comes to mind in those moments where you
sure.
you have some awareness of something that might be contributing, but if there's nothing there, you don't have to sit and contemplate it for 10 minutes to try to explain your experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
reality that we're constantly fluctuating all day, every day, to varying degrees, but it seems like it's consistent, but of course it's not. It's just minor fluctuations. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting to mention that we don't have to define it. That's a good one. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I have to go and get some lunch now. So thanks for the
All right. Thanks,
being
Rod.
the words.
Yep.
Cheers.
I like that you said that, Jeremy, that you don't have to figure it out. That really adds more space to life. Unless the story's provided for you, it's there. And if it's not, just let it be there, is what I'm hearing.
Well, you can even go as far as to say that society does put some pressure on us to be able to explain all the
Mm,
time.
yeah. Why are you? What's wrong with you? Hmm. I like that.
Hmm.
I'm going to attend Marius's meeting today for my first time.
I gotta think he cancelled it.
No way. Oh,
There, he's not well.
oh. Hmm. How do I find that out?
I don't know. I saw it on Substack.
Oh, okay. I'll check the thing again.
Hmm.
Well, that changes the day.
Yeah, he said Saturday's meeting, so presumably he's back in Norway, I imagine, is he?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, go look at his chats on Substack and you'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a shame. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that means I don't have to rush then. So tell me, how does so the sense of this quietness that goes on right now, it makes me uncomfortable.
Good.
Like, you're funny, Jeremy.
Does a thought turn up that that's an opportunity for you?
It did, and then there's like, oh, I don't know if I should say anything because that whole,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here's the thing. It makes you, well, you said it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That me only actually exists as firstly a story, a concept about Jenny and all the characteristics about her, and then the response to that. And so somewhere in that story of Jenny is something that isn't normally seen, but when things are quiet, become apparent. And that's something, that's where the opportunity is. That something is the portal for you to look for what is that something, and how you would approach it. The appropriate way to approach it is to look at what you're feeling, look at the sensations with the invitation to see the stories that are there. Where is that discomfort? It's very normal, and that's one of the reasons why I'm quite happy to have those silences, because they are a great opportunity for you to see that some so it'll expose itself mentally by you feeling like you should be doing something or something should be happening, right? But that's all a way of avoiding what's there, what's been triggered in you by the silence. And so, can you use memory to recall what the feeling was, that discomfort that you had?
Um, I guess it's like a tension in the back of my neck,
Mm-hmm,
back here. Like you have to do something,
mm-hmm.
say something.
So it's a bit glib for me to say, but the mind has a lot of trouble with silence because it wants to fill it. It wants to do something. It wants to contribute something. It wants to, right? And we could come up with all sorts of stories, but something along the lines of it. The mind will be a lot happier if we had something to talk about. The
Yeah.
mind will be a lot happier if we had a problem to solve. Right? But when there's nothing going on, it's got nothing to grab a hold of. And that's where the feeling of discomfort comes from. right? But it's about you. It's identification. It's personal. So what is it? What is it that comes up in you? So maybe you'll have to wait until next silence for it to get a fresh look at it. But something will be screaming inside of you for something. You'll be looking for something. Now, what will be obvious will be that you'll be looking for some way out of the discomfort. But what I want to happen is for you to see what triggers the discomfort. So it's going to be somehow or other that silence is like a mirror that gets held up and reflects you back at you, and that you that you see in the mirror you don't like. It should be different. Is that a bit vague? That could be a bit vague. Is it? Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
It's a big one. It's a very strong conditioning we've got that silences are uncomfortable in our society.
One thing I just experienced, it was even while you were talking. There were a couple times when you paused, and in that second or two of silence, I noticed a pain in my right, like behind my right knee. And then you started talking again, and my attention went away from it, and I stopped noticing that it was there. And then as soon as you went silent for a second or two again, I noticed it, and um, I guess it's reminded me of when our minds are busy, um, our thinking is busy, our actions are busy. It it distracts us from sensations that are there, or at least available for our attention, but our attention is distracted from them.
Hmm.
And so, like in that silence, suddenly there isn't something for my mind to be distracted by. And so I noticed what is actually present in my experience when that was no longer there, or when the mind
Hmm.
attention wasn't distracted by trying to listen to you or think of things. And so that discomfort immediately was like all that was left.
Hmm. Yeah, that's well put. If we look at it from the bottom up rather than the top down, metaphorically, if we look at it from the bottom up, then we can go there is a story that we don't know is happening, and then there is a uncomfortable feeling from as a result of that story. And we still don't know about the uncomfortable feeling because we're very good at avoiding that stuff, and we will avoid it with busyness, either mental or physical busyness. It doesn't matter which one. So we'll either get lost in fantasy or work something out, right? Construct a shopping list or something just to be busy, or we'll get up and clean. We'll get up and do something, right? To be busy, to avoid that. And we're never aware of that discomfort because we're so good at avoiding it. And that discomfort is a result of a story, which is a belief about ourselves that we don't even know exists. Yeah, because we not only don't know the story, we don't know the discomfort that comes from the story because we're so good at distracting from that.
Yeah, it's always the same
Yeah.
feeling though. It's hard to even notice that it's there because it seems like it's just always there. So
Yes.
how do
Yeah.
you not know how can you notice it if it's your baseline?
Mm. Well, you've just made a giant step towards it.
Yeah.
So that just acknowledging that you felt uncomfortable took you one giant step closer to what's going on. And now, because of this conversation, you're going to be on the lookout for what's going on. Now, you may or may not see the story that triggers the original discomfort. But
Mm-hmm.
that's irrelevant. You may not even be aware of the discomfort in the beginning. You'll just be aware of the inclination to be busy.
Mm.
What is it I want to do? I don't want silence. I want to be talking. Let's be interested in something. Let's keep our mind going as a distraction from that. And so the only thing you can quote do is look in the body for what the sensations are. Not in a heavy way, not with expectations about what you're going to find, not trying to work out why of anything. Just look at what is going on. And if the next time you feel uncomfortable, the thought occurs to you to, oh, what am I? Where am I? What? So the trick is that as soon as you go looking, it'll change. So you're not actually going to find what was the original thing, because you're facing it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to change. It's going to be different.
And that's all we're looking for
Well,
is
we're
to
not looking
recognize
for
it.
anything. Yeah, it's just a discovery,
Okay.
and we don't know what it is we're discovering. We don't know what it means. None of that's relevant at all. It is just it's just a way of us turning around and moving towards something rather than the habitual running away from something.
Mm. Could see that not lasting long before I'm into La La Land again.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And
No, I get it.
if you get lost in La La Land, sooner or later you'll realise that was happening.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very subtle stuff we're talking about here. It's you could say it works at a level of intuition. It
Mm.
might be that level of subtleness that's in it. Yeah. But see, it's a bit of a trick. I keep saying this. Everything's a bit of a trick, but what's happening is that you're accepting. You're not doing accepting, but accepting is happening because you're not trying to manipulate anything. You're just looking for what's there. So there's this wonderful surrender, this wonderful acceptance is going on as well, which changes everything. Now I'm all emotional about that. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Mm.
I couldn't tell you what happens in the silences here. Memory says nothing. It's like I don't. Mind still does it, whatever it's doing. Awareness flits from breath to body sensations to seeing what's coming in through the eyes from what I'm hearing. Sometimes I'm aware of what I'm hearing and sometimes not. Aware of my tinnitus, aware of the sounds of the air conditioner in the car, whatever. That comes and goes. You know, but it's all nothing. Just nothing definite what's going on. But the overall feeling is rather lovely. I could say it's like a meditative state, maybe. But I mean, that makes it sound like it's something that it's not. I'm not doing meditation. It's just nice.
And that's enough for you.
It's everything. Yeah, it's more than enough. It's lovely.
So I've often wondered why we'd rather be in thought, even if it's about a fantasy about what anything, than what is actually going on, because what actually is going on seems to be pretty boring. Not a,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
not exciting enough for the mind. So I'd rather be somewhere else. And I've questioned that. I'm like, what the heck? Why would I want to be
Yeah,
nowhere as opposed to here? Like, why would I want to
yeah.
keep doing that?
Well, you'll have to discover that, but that nowhere is everywhere. It's not empty. It's not deficient. It's not, yeah. But okay, yeah. It's a good one. Boredom is really interesting. Boredom is, that version I said of getting busy mentally or physically. Well, boredom is a motivation to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So boredom is very active. It's saying, "Don't be here. Get out of it now. Come on, get moving."
Go clean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So boredom should shout. I would hope. I mean, I shouldn't say should. Should I? I shouldn't say I shouldn't say should either. um,
Oh, we just lost Vince. He's gonna go down a rabbit hole.
boredom has a large sign that says opportunity here, here.
Yeah. That's a hard one to fight. I mean, that part is like a monster that takes over. Like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You know what? I cannot remember the last time I was bored.
Oh, jeepers.
I know what the feeling is. I kind of vaguely remember a state I would call boredom, but it's been such a long time. I only have a weird imagination about it now. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I just feel so lucky when I hear you talk like that. That nothing is just what a wonderful place nothing is.
I'll take your word for it right now.
Mm.
That resonates a lot with me, Vince. And I think that was there was something I realized that was one of the maybe more memorable shifts that I've had in recent years, is that I realized that everything that I was trying to achieve or acquire or do was an attempt to experience the sensation of some sort of like peace and contentment. Like, oh, whether it's like working really hard so that I can go on a vacation to a beach and just relax in a chair. And it was like what I was pursuing with that was the internal felt sense of relaxation and calm and peace. And when I realized that all I was pursuing was like acceptance of what it feels like to be in my body and be okay with whatever was coming up, it was almost like this light bulb of
Yeah, chasing what's
whether
already
I'm
there.
whether I'm sitting here right now or whether I'm sitting on a beach in Mexico. The only thing that could ever, in both of those situations, I was I'm having a hard time articulating right now, but I was chasing something that could only exist in a present moment, whether it's now or in the future. Um, and so when I realized that, like, if I could find how to experience that now, then there wasn't there wasn't anything to do anymore. And so like when you were talking about the, I guess I would describe like the joy of boredom and being able to find, not find, but be able to realize that there's an opportunity for peace and stillness and happiness and presence when there's nothing to do, when it's just quiet. Um, that's like that. Standing in line at the grocery store with nothing to do but wait for it to be your turn is like what I was chasing. Like that's what I was doing all of the work to achieve. And when those moments were happening, there was this habit of, oh, I have to do something to try to go and chase the thing that is already here right now that I'm trying to escape. And I was like, what kind
Mm-mm.
of fucking like sinister trick is my mind playing on me
Yeah.
to try to get me to believe that what I have right now isn't what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Well said.
Okay, so the one who's not there yet, so Jeremy, are you saying that like everybody, you always hear you are what you're looking for, and I don't get that. But what I heard you say right now is that the standing in the grocery line, like I understand exactly what you're saying about. Oh, I hope I can say this properly. I don't know. Are you saying the feeling that we're all looking for is just this um how do I say, numbness, nothingness? Numb isn't the right word. I don't mean numb by not feel. I mean just this awareness of life. Is that it? Was that what you mean? That's what you've been looking for? That you found the same thing in the chair in Mexico that you find sitting here? Because I understand that completely. I understand that. That's why I don't care to go away. It's not going to change anything for me.
Yeah, I think for me, it was chasing the experience of, I guess, a combination of being, I guess another way I'd put it was chasing the experience of not resisting, chasing the
Yeah.
experience of just being okay with what is happening right now.
That
And it's
I
really
agree.
easy to do that on a beach or sitting in the sun at the pool, or a lot of other situations where I would be in those moments of um, acceptance. Like I am okay with what's happening right now, and I don't need to do anything to make it better. Right now is okay.
Got it.
And I don't think it's a trick of my mind to have expanded that acceptance into lots of other moments of my life that had previously been things that I wanted to resist, or I wanted to push, or I wanted to try to make it better. I don't know if I clarified anything about what it's been like for me.
I
Yeah,
think it
you
makes
did.
all the sense in the world. I think it's like we what we really want is to be comfortable with what's going on, and we try to get that by creating conditions that are acceptable and pleasant, and right, so that you do feel comfortable with what's going on. But really, yeah, it's available all the time.
Yeah,
So it's like dog shit
go.
awareness, basically, is what we're
No,
looking for.
no, it's more than that. It's
And I'm only using dog shit as saying it's just
yeah,
so
yeah,
basic
no,
there that,
but
you know.
yeah. I used to enjoy having to wait in the grocery line, right? And I used to see it if I had to wait anywhere in traffic or whatever, I would see it as an opportunity for something like to just chill. I can't remember the last time I actually did that because it seems like that happens everywhere, whether I'm in the grocery line or whether I'm in the aisle looking for something. It's still happening, and I would describe it more as a sense of relaxation, a sense, probably not the right word, but that acceptance of whatever's going on, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. And probably what I was experiencing this morning was a moment of non-acceptance
Mm.
that Mr. Grumpy turned up because there was some resistance to what was going on for some reason. It was not a big deal, but it was there. Yeah. It's just this. It's almost beyond words to describe that there's this beautiful sense of okayness about whatever's going on, whatever I'm doing, whatever. See, but when I say whatever I'm doing, I don't mean whatever I'm doing. Whatever is happening. And it comes back to that life shows me what it wants to happen next.
Mm.
But I didn't do this. I didn't make it happen. It's just turned up. Nothing leads and nothing follows. I don't know where that came from, but that's what it feels like.
Good title for your next song.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, boy, they happen. I've got I've got them lined up until the 26th of April at the moment, and I've still got about 5 that I've yet to publish.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful. Yeah.
I'm getting away. I'm so far ahead of myself. Yeah, but it happens. It happens. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. But I know that sounds obscure, but I'm not meaning it to be obscure. But it's like that, there is no cause and effect. Cause and effect are both happening at the same time. One doesn't lead the other. There's just like, of course, I still use a calendar and I still think in terms of days of the week and hours of the day and so on. But at an experiential level, there's no before and after. There's no this follows that. It's
Mm.
all at the same time, all happening at the same time. And it's difficult to tease something out to describe it or to say what that is. But if I do that, I just keep coming back to this wonderful acceptance of whatever's here. Whatever's here is just whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. I don't have to define it. I don't have to react to it. It just is what it is because I'm not reacting to it because I am it. I don't mean to sound woo-wooish. I don't want to sound woo-wooish, but it's kind of like that, It's good. I feel like I should shut up. Yeah.
Oh no, you're filling up the boredom for me, so it's great.
Yeah. I'm just I kind of wanting to be a role model, and that sounds arrogant, doesn't it? But I'm not meaning it that way. But
But you
yeah,
are for
open up
me.
possibilities there. And none of it has to make sense. What's relevant for you will sink in, and what's not will just get water off a duck's back, and maybe next time, who knows? Yeah. But I get the feeling, and this is just putting words to it, but I get the feeling that you're receptive at the moment, that you're soaking up what I'm saying, even though it might not make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did the tension show up in the back of your neck again?
No, my heart's pounding a little fast. Yeah, it's here. You can feel the pull wanting to just do something. Yeah.
Don't 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 get sucked into imagining that anything is wrong ever. That you shouldn't be feeling that. That you could be feeling something else is as a potential, as a possibility. But what you recognize that you are feeling is always perfectly fine. It is what it is. And there's absolutely no point whatsoever in wanting it to be different because it's already done. It's already there. So everything is an opportunity to recognize the possibility of just pure acceptance. Just not even to say acceptance sounds like a doing, like an invitation to be a certain way. But the kind of acceptance I'm talking about is not, it's not that. It is just a recognition that it is what it is. And I don't know what it is. I only know my interpretation, and I'm not particularly concerned about that because it's just my interpretation. So I'm not even worried about defining what my interpretation is. So it is what it is, and I don't know what that is, and I don't care. It's a kind of a wonderful going along with it that happens as a result of that.
When you noticed your heart pounding, was it after you noticed it, was there more of a like resistance or like, oh, I don't like this feeling? Was it more of a like, oh, that's interesting. I wondered.
A bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of both. It's like, wow, that's different all of a sudden, out of nowhere, kind of. Yeah.
I took it as more excitement than something negative.
Oh,
Oh, that's
right.
just because that's the way I wanted to see it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more. Well, it was more of a sense of, um, I guess, yeah, the need to do something. I think. I don't know. Without paying attention to things, you just have no idea how to understand it because you just don't give it time ever.
Yeah.
Filling it up with something.
To repeat something that Vince was saying earlier, I feel like you don't have to understand why your heart was pounding. Trying to, if anything, for me, it's been like when some sort of like something in my sense experience, and it's largely been bodily sensations. When something has arisen, going to my thoughts is just falling in. It was me falling into the bad habit of getting away from what was happening right now and now back into my imaginary world of looking for stories or reasons of, why my heart might be pounding. It still happened that I would like go to thought and something might come up and it's like, oh, that's interesting. And then um, going back into what I was experiencing in my body, um, I guess is what started happening more and more instead of getting lost in the thoughts. Now I'm feeling sensations about that my mind tell me I'm not making any sense.
You are.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It feels like it's this constant back and forth between things that are present in my experience and my mind wanting to explain it. And then it's like this ping pong back and forth. My mind wants, it's like grasping, my thoughts are grasping at being the storyteller.
And what's the rest of your day like then, Jeremy? Do you carry on? I mean, are you able to stay in this type of um, noticing? I'm going to say, or do you find yourself getting back into the grid of life?
It's changed, or kind of, it feels like it's constantly changing. Where almost like each day or week, it's a little bit more of my attention being into what I'm experiencing versus my attention being in my thoughts.
Okay.
Maybe maybe what's changed is the period of time where I am lost in thought without realizing that I'm lost in thought has
Okay.
gotten shorter. I have had like, I don't know when it happened, but I almost can no longer be unaware of what's arising throughout my whole body anymore. Like I can't turn it off. I can't stop feeling what it's like on the bottom of my foot. It's like as I'm most of the time it's in my awareness. It's like the other night, um, I don't remember how it came up, but I was talking with my wife and I had mentioned how I could feel my pulse in somewhere in my body, um, or at least in like multiple parts of my body. And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can sense how fast my heart is beating right now." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "I have to like put my fingers on my neck or on my heart or something." Um, I don't even know why I'm sharing that, but it's almost like this. I can't turn off my body sensations anymore.
Mm.
It sounds like there's a part of me that's annoyed by that. Probably some truth to it.
Guess you'll notice when you get busy. It's been a really good meeting.
Hmm. I it just a, I just want to. I wonder, and I don't want to say that that'll change for you too, Jeremy. Don't worry.
What part?
That you're so sharply aware of your body's sensations,
Hmm.
and that you distinguish between your body's sensations and your thoughts. So your
Hmm.
thoughts will become body sensations, and your body sensations will become thoughts. But yeah, anyway, just it's an experience. Yeah, that you're not stuck in that. It'll move. I'm imagining. I don't know if it's true, but I imagine the case.
I have had moments actually recently where I've been trying to investigate the actual differences. I think it's usually in terms of like both where something is located and what it's made of, between thoughts, bodily sensations, my like uh, things that I'm perceiving in my field of vision, and like I guess inquiring or looking into, like, how do I, the location of the tension and that's in my hand and the thought that's arising, like how do, where are they, like how to, where are they, what are they made of?
Mm.
There's absolutely still a distinction there, and there's still a sense of like 3D, three-dimensional location of them. Maybe that's what I've been trying to challenge, of like how do I know that?
Yeah. What is it, you know? That's what is knowing. What is it that you know? You don't know anything that's not you. Everything you know is what you are. So this the distinction part, that's what will change.
I can hear you saying, or it won't. And that's another thing that
Yeah.
changed for me, is that uh, it doesn't need to.
Mm.
I'm okay if it does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm okay if it doesn't.
You're okay,
I'm okay.
or just okay. It's not even you're okay, but just okay. Okayness, okaying, whatever. Yeah.
Okay is a wonderful place to be.
And I'm assuming resistance is when it's okay that it doesn't change. When it's not okay that it doesn't change, I mean.
Resistance, I would say, is like whatever is not good enough. I expect more, I expect different.
And that's where the work is. Oh, don't, I know. That's where that's where you want to pay attention, right?
I don't know. I don't know what I did, Ted. I think this is, I don't know, in any sorts of discussions like this, I have such a difficult time with doing anything other than describing what I remember as being my experience, because I don't know what I did. If I did
Okay.
anything, I don't know what it was
Okay. Okay.
to have arrived at where I am right now.
Okay. Lucky you.
So this is all just stuff that is potential for change if that's going to happen, if it happens. Being aware of anything creates you being aware of something. Even if you're aware of what your sensation is, it's a duality that you've created, and you've got a self who's being aware. That's implicit in that you are being aware. But if being aware, if awaring is happening, that's what you are. There is no you being aware. There is just where your focus is. That is your experience. There is just experience. You're experiencing a thought, you're experiencing a feeling, you're experiencing movement, you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing, that's what you are. But you're not anything, but that's all you've got. Well, you haven't, well, you've got it, but that's it. There is just what it is. So there is value in being aware of your sensations in the beginning. There's value of being aware that you've been hijacked by your thoughts in the beginning. But eventually your thoughts will become just an experience, just like a sense of touch or sight or whatever. It just seems so really obvious to me that if I'm looking at something, if I'm seeing something, that what I'm seeing is what I am. I could say I am aware of seeing, but that's just a story I add to the experience. And then that becomes part of my experience, the story. But before I add the story to it, how can I look at anything and not be what I'm seeing? Because that's everything that's happening. It's not me being aware. It's awaring being me. It's more accurate.
I tried to articulate what one of the things that I'm taking away from what you're saying. A moment ago, you were talking about how, in response to me saying, like, I can't shake this feeling of being aware of my whole body's sensations moment to moment. Maybe one thing that I'm interpreting from what you're saying is that in a way where previously I would get lost in thoughts, in a sense, there's still a similar thing happening where there's an observer, there is my bodily sensations, and so there's like these two things, and the observer is kind of like lost, not lost, but just like
Yeah,
um, uh, captivated is maybe
yeah,
a
yeah.
closer word by
Yeah.
what's
So
arising in my body, and that is a step in a direction, but
yeah,
there's
the
still
next
some
there's
delusion
another step.
happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so previously you got lost in your thoughts, now you don't. Now you get lost in your body. Then you won't.
Hmm. And the thing I'm picking up from what you're trying to tell me is that there's still an I who's getting lost.
Yeah,
There's still a self. I'm still
yeah.
selfing in the
It's still an
uh,
artificial separation, which is conceptual, but it's an artificial separation of a thing that's being aware of,
mm,
and the implication that this awareness of that. So somebody being aware is a bit gross, but it's kind of like that. But the awareness itself can be a version of I or me.
yeah, I'd be lying if I said I still don't have a pretty strong felt sense of there being a me behind my
Mm-hmm.
eyes,
Mm-hmm.
even though there's been years of
Yep.
looking for it and not finding anything but a sensation.
Yeah. So you say a felt sense of an I is there. Can oh, this is hard. Can you grok that there is the experience of the felt sense, and then there is the felt sense, and that the experience of it is all you are, and that to say there is a felt sense like it is something separate is really can be no more than a description of something. It's literally a description. It could be words on a page, or it could be a narration that you hear, but regardless, it's a description of an actual experience, and the actual experience is everything.
Just, I'll try to put things in my own words in an attempt to answer what you're asking. If I go and look for evidence of the belief that I'm behind my eyes, that there's a me that's in my head, the only thing I find is this sort of pulsing, like tension. I can feel energy in my head in the same way that I can feel energy in other parts of my body. What I'll then sometimes do is compare, well, if I'm experiencing some sort of tension or energy or I don't know, aliveness in my left bicep in a similar way that I'm feeling that thing in my head, is there actually any distinction between the two? So it's almost like inquiring, why do I think that the only thing that I am finding in my head, why do I think that that is me when it's in my experience, it's no different than a sensation that is somewhere else in my body.
Mm.
If I close my eyes, um, the, I guess, belief that I'm in my head is much less strong. Um, if I close one of my eyes, it's almost like the depth perception from having both eyes open and looking at something and seeing uh, some things in focus and other things not, is what is contributing to feeling there, like there's that me in my head.
Mm.
I'm going to pause there because I don't know where any of it's going. But
Yeah,
does that
yeah,
help
yeah.
answer your question in any way?
Well, what I want you to discover something, and it's really difficult to put it into words, but but I'm going to attempt. So take that sensation in your shoulder, that idea of that sensation in your shoulder, and you investigate it, right, with your mind. You feel into it. You feel what it is, and with that there is some kind of narration about what it feels like and what its location is and so on. And let's imagine that you are so involved in doing that there is the sensation, and then there is the investigation of the sensation, and that is a bubble, and the entirety of you is inside that bubble. So it includes the investigation as well as a sensation. Whatever awareness is, if we say awareness, that you're aware of the sensation, that's inside the bubble. That's part of your experiencing. Any narration about it, any sensation that turns up that you're aware of, any sensations that's there that you're not aware of, that you can't define, that's too subtle, that you can't even separate it out because it's very subtle, but it's part of, it's at the bottom of the sensation that's obvious, that stands out. But the investigation and the sensation are all inside that bubble, and that's all of you. Totally, that's it. You're that.
I don't know if I can tell whether that's resonating conceptually or experientially.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter. They're not separate. If it's conceptual, you're still experiencing the concept, not the content, but the fact of the concept. And see, the interesting and tricky part is that the concept only exists because of the content of the concept. Without the content, there would be no concept. But you experience the fact of the concept as part of your experience, and you experience a response to the content of the concept as part of your experience. And so they can't really be separated. The whole thing, the experiencing of and what is being experienced are the same thing. And that's all you. That's where everything is. Every part of you, every being, every fiber of your being is involved in that experience. And it's an artificial separation to say, I'm aware of it. Because you're not separate from it. How could you be aware of anything that you're separate from? That's the logical thing, but you can't be.
What you're saying makes sense, and I have no objections to. When I was just trying to experience the sensation in my shoulder and the thoughts about the sensation in my shoulder, I could see that both of them, there was the experience of both of them. I couldn't find anything outside of that in terms of like an experiencer. The belief is so strong.
Mm.
Like the
That's part of your experience too.
hmm,
And it doesn't contradict.
even saying that, like, I feel like there's an experiencer watching my sensation in my shoulder is being experienced.
The whole thing is being experienced. That's right. Yes, it's all part of experiencing. It's all what you are. Every bit of it. Nothing is separate. If I was going to say if you're aware of it, but that's too limiting. Your experiencing is everything. It's all there is for you. It's all. It's see to say for you is too limiting as well. It's not right. It's all there is.
I have a belief. I think I have a belief that, or at least there's a belief that's present that I haven't had a direct experience of what you're trying to tell me, or at least I don't recognize that what I'm experiencing is the direct experience of what you're trying to tell me, and
That's
that
all
by
right. Let's say
and that by continuing to investigate it, whatever is holding on by even a thread will dissolve or it won't.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's good. Yeah. We uh, we sometimes catch things that we don't kind of know what we've caught. It's just yeah. And don't try and work it out. Don't try and make sense of it. Don't try and have an experience. It's just let it go. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah.
Here's the thing, like earlier when we were talking about what I would, I guess, now describe as the joy of boredom, the I am experiencing so much more deep of a warmth, relaxation, calmness than I was 30 minutes ago. And all that happened, oh, all that I did was pay closer attention to what's happening right now.
My
Because there's
face is going to
still
fall off
pain in
from
my knee.
grinning.
There's
Yeah.
what's that?
I said my face is going to fall off from grinning.
I was going to say that there's still pain in my knee and numbness in my foot, and tension in my leg and soreness, like all those things are still there, but
Yeah, something's different.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, this felt like a surprise half-hour tangent, but I appreciate it, Vince.
Oh, you're welcome.
I like the it wasn't a when Zach was here earlier and you were kind of introducing him to how things go, and you said like if you feel like telling me to fuck off, you can tell me to fuck off and it won't hurt my feelings. I know that you weren't telling me to fuck off, but you were telling me to, it's kind of like the metaphorical, like shaking me a little bit, like helping me see something that I may not have been seeing, or helping me be aware of an illusion or a delusion that I didn't know was present, and offering a challenge. I appreciate it.
Mm.
Shining a light, maybe, is another way to put it.
But I wasn't doing any of those things. I mean, the circumstances or whatever got triggered here took me off into a rather weird place, and you just copped it.
Well, thanks for I guess what I really meant to say was appreciate you staying up a little bit later than you might have wanted to.
Yeah, no, it was okay. Yeah. No, I was gonna wind up about half an hour ago, but no, this has been great. Yeah, and I want to talk to Phoebe before we go.
Why do you want to talk to me, Vince?
Oh, I just want to say good day and
No.
yeah,
Yeah. I
thanks.
I think Jenny said something earlier that resonated with me, or someone said something about how they just felt better. And after speaking with you the other day, um, I just felt better. Yeah, it's really amazing to me how being part of this group or listening in on the group really calms me. Like it really calms me and it comforts me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I hear things like that, and I do really, I want to point that it's something that happened in you, and it's too easy to say, oh, it's because of the group or something outside of me. But in fact, it's what went on in you. It's what went on in Jenny that created that experience for her. And that it happened shouts out that it knows the way back. It can happen again. It can happen more. It's just beautiful. We've all got this amazing ability that,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and that it can happen. It just I tell you, it was so interesting because it so calmed me that I've just been in this great space for the last couple of days. And it's really sort of a sense of safety that life is safe. I'm safe. And
yeah,
that's like
yep.
a major shift on the foundational level,
Oh,
you know, you know.
it's
So
beautiful. Yeah.
it's yeah, it's really lovely.
I feel like life is home. Life is mother. Oh, that's another good one. I like that.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's that beautiful support and comfort and embrace from life.
It's
Yeah.
it's so funny because I don't have that foundational sense of mother. I I was I was born highly allergic to milk, and my grandmother was running for state Congress at the time, and she was into raw milk. So they raised me on raw milk, and I was just in agony for 9 months. Like I was in agony. I was hungry and I was in pain for 9 months. And my mom said to me when I was 21, I'm so sorry. I didn't know about touch deprivation. I just left you in the crib because you just screamed no matter what I did. It didn't matter if I held you or not. And I have no body sensation that mother is safe. None.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
none. So the mother, like life as mother is like, for me, it's like, whoa,
Mm.
thank you very much, but I will just, yeah, yeah, it's funny. But but I feel what you're saying about this. But I've put that on you. You're safe for me. You're
Mm.
you're like a mother for me. But women, women and the mother, it's not such a great
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
sensation for me. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a sister who was allergic to cow's milk, and I spent a large part of my childhood walking about 2 miles up the road to a place where they had a goat to bring back goat's milk for her because she
Oh,
was allergic to cow's milk, but she could drink goat's milk when she was a
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
And I spent
Wow.
a lot of time walking getting goat's milk. Yeah.
Well, it's just interesting, the sense of safety and comfort that not only you, but the other people in the group.
Yeah, yeah.
It
And
just,
I
yeah,
get what you say. I understand because I have a wonderful feeling from the group too. But I recognize that it's something in me that is relating to that
right,
that brings
right.
about that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's too
yeah.
easy to say it's out there and I need those circumstances in order to feel this. Well, I don't. I just need to have the experience that I'm having as a result of my relationship to it, the way I see it, my interpretation.
Yeah. And I did carry it with me. I mean, that's the whole thing. I've been carrying it with me for a couple of days, this sense of
Yeah, yeah,
comfort. Yeah.
yep, that's beautiful. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I'm still doing good. And yeah, there's just, it's so amazing that Jeremy, I'm 71. I'll be 71 years old next month, and I feel like the next 20 years are going to be the best in my life. Like this is like just the best, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a sense that it's going to be the best regardless of what like external circumstances arise?
Yes, because of the acceptance of whatever life brings is what's supposed to happen. Like however life unfolds. Like it's, there's this quote, just to be alive. What was that? What is the quote? And it's a famous quote. Just to be alive is a blessing. And I, I read that in my 30s and 40s and 50s, but it wasn't till very recently. It's like, oh my God, I'm alive. I'm alive right now. Like, this is such a gift. It's life itself is such a freaking gift that no matter what it brings, it's a miracle. It's amazing that I'm alive. And that, yeah, it's like we're alive on Earth right now. That is freaking amazing. And every bit is a gift. It's just a freaking gift. And someday I'll, go somewhere else. I'll be on another plane or I'll whatever.
Yeah.
But it's almost, and this sounds so trite, but it's almost like every day is a miracle. It's just a miracle to be alive. And I haven't exercised in 10 years. And back in October, I started exercising. And this morning, was on my waiver plate while I was listening. And now I'm going to get on the elliptical and I'm going to work out. And the joy of having strength, going into my 70s, getting stronger and stronger. And as long as my body will hold up, and I have a little twinge in my knee this morning. And I'm like, ooh, should I not exercise and let that rest? And I'm like, fuck it. I just really want to get on that thing and work out, even if it's just for 20 minutes, I just want to stay strong. And so this joy of being alive, I did not have this in my 40s and 30s and 20s. I didn't have it. It was stressful for me. That was, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm with you, Vince. I wouldn't go back. I would not go back. Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Yeah, I'd rather love being old as well. It's great.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I love this group.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Mm. But as much as I love it, I'm going to
Okay,
go
good
to
night,
bed now. It's
you.
1:45 here.
Oh my God. All right, good night.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
all.